Okay, let's begin. Thanks for enduring a little bit of rainy weather here, people, to come over. We appreciate it. 4 questions for Emma. She's got a little bit of, as they say in England, team news for you. Emma Hayes.
Team news is Lily Real has a foot injury and has gone home, back to Gotham, and Trinity Rodman is fine and training today.
And there you have it. Questions for Emma? We have a mic. Let's go right here.
Hi. Is this on, working?
They'll pick up in the camera, just not in the room.
Cool. I was just curious, Emma, what you thought of the Canada-Colombia game from however many days ago, I don't know anymore. And especially in the context of the last time the U.S. played Canada, it feels things have changed, and just how you're sort of preparing for that game.
Fowdy's making fun of my face from there, so she's giving goofy faces, by the way. So I think what is clear is that I think Canada are in a different place. We all know that this is a historical rivalry between two teams, so it's always going to be a competitive fixture. My focus is on ensuring that our emotional control is in the place where it doesn't matter if you play Argentina, you play Canada, whomever. We're showing development and maturity in those things. That's something that I think is important in this type of game. I think Canada, and I've obviously coached against Casey for many years, so the way she sets up her team is really clear, and I think they are. I think in general their build-up play with Kaylin at the base of their play, they have a variety in their play, whether they're in. They've got high fullbacks, got good double pivots that will want to get on the ball. I think in general against Colombia, I thought their build up into the final phase was a step above what it was back in the October fixture. I think they're extremely threatening from set pieces. I think not just the aerial threat, but the delivery is exceptional. It's on the money every time. So we have to be really switched on, because I think she doesn't miss many in terms of hitting the key areas. I think while they might obviously be missing Olivia Smith, I think changes to their team, I'm seeing more aggression from them out of possession. I think tougher to beat, and the way they defend their box, the bodies they get in their central area when you've gone wide, they get blocks off. This is Casey's a centre back, so she's developing her team to be like that. And as I said, I think this will be a much tougher test. Even though, listen, I thought it was I think they'll be hurting Canada from that game. So, you have to expect a reaction from them. But I also think that they've made progress as a team. So I'm anticipating a different type of match. So I know that the team are very, very, very much prepared for that.
Pass it on.
Hello.
So you've had the opportunity to integrate the U23 players into the senior squad. When do you know that a player is ready to take that leap?
Great question, which is why I think the fluctuating piece is important. So I'll give you probably 2 good examples. Jamise Joseph, Maddie Darlene. Jamise Joseph has aged out of the under-23s. In our ideal world, we're working towards having 5 overaged players in under-23s. So let's say, for example, Kat Macario and Sophia Smith are available for selection next camp. Could be a really good opportunity for Jamise to go and gain more experience in the under-23 programme. Maddie Darlene, along with Riley Jackson, been 2 really standout players in their performances of under-23 on the back of really, really sort of positive under-20 performances. So the progressions are moving where they were. This was the right moment to expose them to tournament situation, knowing, well, the next one is qualifiers, and if we qualify, the next one's the World Cup. So it might be the right one now, but it might not be the right one for April, for example, because maybe we'll want 1 or 2 or 3 of those players to play more than a 45-minute role or a 45 plus 30. So what I know is that myself and my staff, under 23 staff, under 20 staff, Tracy Kevins, we regularly meet to go over, okay, what do we think's best here? So if for example, we want Jordan Bugg, Lily Johannes, Claire Hutton to go to the Under-20 World Cup, in an ideal world, do we give them those exposures? Or is, say, for example, it better for Claire Hutton to stay with us to play against Japan in April? Is it an opportunity, say, for Jordan Bugg and Trinity Armstrong to go and play together in the Under-23, even though they both could play in Under-20? So it honestly, it takes like so many different conversations and evaluations. But that's how development works. Like that you have to dip your toe in, go back, add some more skills to it. And in some cases, some are further ahead than others. Like I think Claire Hutton, at her age and stage, is further ahead in experiences to say Riley Jackson. But Riley Jackson's talent is, you can see, is she's got qualities that I think will see her as a national team player, but it might not all be for now. So, and it's a subject I love chatting about. Because of that piece.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time, Coach. You're now a few years into switching from club to international. A few years. Now, Coach Casey, she's only a year into that transition. Can you talk about that transition? And is there ever a point where you're, okay, I'm feeling comfortable now moving from club to international?
Oh, comfort's not in my vocabulary, I'm afraid. I think with my own coach in the room, I'll tell you this much, I perform best in the stretch space. So I think what you do get used to is the ebb and flow that's different. And that is between camps, being highly organised and strategic in relation to what our strategy is, what the progressions are between camp, and it's a lot of interdepartmental meetings or coach calls or player analysis. That's what happens in between camps, and honestly they're as full on. And then when in camp, differently to club, it's just full on in terms of focus for the players. And that's something I think I've got better at saying, if it's not urgent, park it. Focus is on the players and the games, other than going to the Grand Ole Opry. So yes, is the bottom line answer. And when you only have the players for 20% of the time, you have to make it count. And so I ensure that in our environments we value differentiation in learning and give the players as many exposures as possible, whether it be to the 22 hours, whether it be to analysis, whether it be to team development, whether it be to mental fitness, whether it be to team unity, whether it be to durability, whether it be to team composition. All of those things, I feel like we've developed our strategy now, where everybody internally knows how to start developing and building the player. Like we have a really, really solid framework, and I've enjoyed that part of being an international manager, building the strategic vision in the both short, medium and long term.
Brianna McKay, the Columbus Dispatch. You have a player from the area,
I do.
Emma Sears. Yes, I just want to ask you, what's the development you've seen from her over the last year and a half?
I'm smiling because I think about the conversation Em and I have had this week about her development in terms of, you know, some players have come through the youth national team system or have gone to the top programs in the country collegiately, gone to, you know, maybe bigger clubs. Emma is someone who is not going away. That's the bottom line. She's not going away. She makes absolutely everything count, and she's extremely effective. She has worked so hard on herself to become a student of the game, to work at her decision making, her execution, in the finishing phase. I think the cut back to Lindsay is another moment. If you go and watch some of her assists from last year, the range of her final pass is improving so much. Defensively, she's learned her triggers, when to press, when to hold, when to block spaces, when to cover shadow. She's really like created, I think, room for herself to not only grow, but like she's thriving. And I think I said this to her last week. I said if the World Cup was tomorrow, it'd be one of the first players coming from the bench, in my opinion, because you always make it count. You always make an impact. Your next jump is how you're going to push into the 11 on a regular basis. But I'm very proud of her, knowing it's not always so easy when you're not coming from maybe the traditional route, and maybe not have the youth national team experience. But she's a fighter, and she's not going away.
Women's sports are more in the spotlight now than ever. You know, what does this She Believes Cup mean for not only women's soccer, but the growth and the importance of the sport?
Well, I always start with like consistency is here and coming back. You know, that in itself becomes a constant and a stable that you can really know. For us, this is one great tournament opportunity every year. And I think we're extremely lucky, because I've said this before, outside of the US, not many teams play 3-game windows. This is great preparation for our whole squad. And I think we're quick turnarounds, moving to different places, different conditions, everything like that, even if we're at home, is extremely helpful. And in my eyes, like, I want to use all the advantages that come with that. And you've seen with the crowds, Nashville, I know there'll be a good crowd here. I know about the history of this town in terms of it not just only being, one of the original MLS cities. And hopefully, I hope one day there'll be an NWSL club. I know there's talks of that happening. It would be fantastic if there was an NWSL franchise here. This She Believes is my second one doing it, but it's so extremely valuable, and I'm so grateful we get the chance to do it.
Anything else in the room? No? In that case, we're going to go to the mix zone. And where's the mix zone, pal? It's right here?
Yeah, it's gonna be here.
We're just going to go right here, and we'll start bringing players.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.